Well, Joby, thanks for joining us. You kept to the same starting 11. You got a very similar result with back-to-back home draws now.
Yeah, but today felt a bit different for me. I think coming off the back of Exeter, I think particularly first half. The other night we actually played the ball well and got in some positions without creating too many opportunities. Today we really missed a trick, in my opinion. First half we just didn't have enough conviction in our play. I think we were a little bit too slow at times. We definitely didn't put them under enough pressure. I think the goal pretty much summed that up. Really passive in terms of our defending. And then we've got an uphill battle from there. Obviously get ourselves back in the game, and I felt like we could go and kick on, but it just never happened really. So really, really disappointed with today.
After the Exeter game, you were looking for sort of big points you were talking about from these home matches. Yeah,
again, that's, when you look at the way the fixtures have gone, with those two away games, it can be difficult at times, but coming here home where we have got a good record, we certainly looked at this as two opportunities to get some big points on the board. Clearly that hasn't materialised, and for me that's why certainly points dropped.
Can you understand the supporters' frustration, possibly confusion, that the side seem to be quite conservative in their approach at the moment, very cautious?
Yeah, because it's certainly not what we're instructing the lads. Clearly from our point of view, we know we need to move the ball faster. It's things that we talk about, things that we're trying to work on. We know we need to get more shots. We know we need to get more crosses. These are all things that clearly we're aware of and we're trying to get across, and then obviously we go out there and it clearly doesn't materialise. So, it's frustrating for everybody at the end of the day. At this moment in time, it's up to me to come up with those answers and getting us playing with a bit more of a tempo and making sure, particularly, here in the last couple of games, we're certainly testing teams more than we have done these last couple of days.
When you were appointed, it was the chairman, Nigel Travis, was saying that we're going to go for the playoffs. Is that beyond reach now?
Well, I think the more we drop points, clearly it's getting harder by the game because we're not picking enough points. It was always a challenge that we set ourselves when certainly I came in, because I thought it was realistic. And at the end of the day, we still have to strive for something. I've said in there, I don't want us limping along towards the end of the season. That does nobody any good. And for me, we're better than what we've been showing. Ultimately, we have to show that in our performances. We can't assume we are or expect that we are. Again, for me, two teams this week that if you have to ask me if we're better teams, then I would say yes, but we haven't actually gone out and showed that on the football pitch. And again, that's the biggest disappointment for me.
Is this an important week coming up for you? Because it's the first week that you'll have complete on the training ground.
Yeah, listen, again, I think anyone who knows me knows I'm not someone to stand here and make excuses. At the same time, is it something that hasn't helped? Of course, we haven't had much prep time. Maybe the few little tweaks that we want to get into the team and make a few changes. We haven't quite been able to get them into the team, clearly, because the performances and the results haven't necessarily shown that. So we'll have a bit more time. Again, it's always a balancing act. And again, I said to the boys in there, it's not about letting them off the hook, because it's not. We knew we weren't good enough today. It's been a big run of games, with the travelling. The squad has been stretched. One of our biggest assets was that strength that we had. Clearly, we've been working with limited numbers recently, and it's just a chance for everybody to probably have a little bit of a reset, recover where we need to, but make sure we do the work that we're going to need to put in better performances than that. Because again, for me, there's a level and an expectation when you play for this football club, and at the moment we're not reaching it.
Are you thinking about changing the formation, maybe pushing James Brophy further forward, maybe creating more openings? I think it's only the 4 goals now in the 12 games.
Yeah, we're always looking at ways to try and be a bit more productive, particularly in that attacking third. If I've got to be honest, I think in that area the players that we have got clearly are not quite playing with the confidence that they were earlier in the season. So again, that's something we need to try and work on. I know there's a lot of questions, about where we play Brovs. For us, it gives us a greater control, certainly from left back on the ball, and enable us to build, which is important. So there's always a balancing act. Of course, we want to get as high up the pitch and get our players in areas that going to go and create chances, and clearly that's something we have to have a look at. Unfortunately for us, he's suspended for 2 games now, so that's something we're going to have to obviously bear in mind the next couple of games.
How much is that starting 11 missing you in midfield, Joby?
Again, I think it's something that we knew was going to be something we had to work around, especially for the early part of it. I thought it was very important for me to try and go in and create an environment and a clear picture of what everyone's roles were. Again, with Brophy being suspended, we've then got Hector going away for the week that we've got a couple of away games, or one in particular, Carlisle. So clearly for me, I've been making sure I've kept myself ticking over, and again, as I've always said, if I am needed, then I'm here to be selected, and I think that's something again that we'll certainly look at moving forward.
What is the news on those absentees, the likes of Louis Dennis, Josh Coulson, Ross Saturio, and we know Leanne Gold probably isn't going to see again this season? Yeah,
like all the boys, I think that's been the biggest blow really. They're all long-termers really. Course is back running, so I'm hoping he's not going to be a million miles off. For me, it's those attacking areas where we've missed those lads. Again, defensively, on the whole, we've been okay. But we know that it's those front areas that have really been the issue for us recently. And when you look at the lads that we haven't got to draw upon, even potentially to bring on, in the last 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, we just don't quite have those options at the minute. So I think Louis, again, we're hopeful he can get back on the training pitch at some point next week. How ready he's going to be, we don't know. Ruel's still going to be a little bit longer. And again, we have to work with the group that we've got, and that's a demand. That's something I place on myself. I've got a group of players that for me are underperforming and underachieving, and I have to look at ways of turning that around.
And how do you start doing that process, Joby?
Well, it's work. It's hard work. It's looking at why we're not creating opportunities, why we're not getting shots on target. And there are things that we have looked at, Dave. Believe me, there's not been many hours gone by that we haven't been watching training back and analysing opponents, analysing our own games. So listen, the work is going in. Sometimes again it is frustrating because you feel as though you're making a little bit of progress, or things are starting to click, whether it be on the training ground, whether it be through conversations with players. And then we go out, and again, my biggest disappointment was the level of performance today. That again, I'll never come out here and say we were better than we were, or we've played really well when we haven't. I think it's important that the players have that honesty first and foremost, and I've been honest with them. But also, we're not trying to kid anyone else in terms of around here that that wasn't good enough, and that's certainly something that we're all front up and take on the chin.
And finally for me, Joby, today the club has been supported the Level Playing Field campaign, looking for access for disabled people to sporting events. Yeah,
of course, it's a fantastic cause, one that I think is important for everybody, no matter your situation, to be able to go in. We all know the buzz and the joy that go into live sporting events can bring, and that shouldn't be limited, if you've got a disability. So certainly for us, it's something we're massively behind, and we really hope that, moving forward, that accessibility is there for absolutely everybody.
Let's hope everybody can be back very soon. Thank you very much, Joby. Thank you.